Welcome to the Books and Martinis podcast.
I'm Priya.
And I'm Mercy.
And this is your go-to book podcast,
where we lift, empower, and spotlight authors.
Grab your martini and follow along.
And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to our podcast. I'm Priya.
I'm Mercy. Hello, everybody. Welcome, and welcome, Sydney. Cheers to you.
Cheers, Sydney.
Cheers.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Salute to a successful interview. Great interview. We are so excited to have you. Sydney Shields on the screen, in your ears, everyone. She's an amazing author. She wrote the book Honey Witch that Mercy's holding up right now. Let me grab my book real quick. Honey Witch.
Oh, so
amazing fantasy slash sort of romantasy. But it was a beautiful, beautiful book. And I just finished it last night in time for this interview. And to kick it off, before we even start asking you questions, Sydney, because we have a ton, let me read.
By the way, hold on.
Ahead.
Before you hit the bio, so they can have a visual if they're only listening to our podcast. She has the most beautiful honey-colored hair. So I just have to say that. So she's all honey. So it goes perfectly with her whole theme, her book, and the sweetness of her book. So now you have a visual. All right. So go ahead. Give us a bio.
Don't take her word for it. My hair looks so bad today. It's a wash day.
Not true.
I haven't gotten it done in like 2 years. Please don't pay attention to it.
Oh, your hair's adorable.
You're beautiful.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop. Go.
So first of all, I love the way her bio starts off. Sydney J. Shields is a swamp creature who has evolved to hold a pen. Can we just put that everywhere?
Seriously.
She is a #1 Sunday Times, USA Today, and indie best-selling author. Her debut, The Honey Witch, is an Amazon Editor's Choice for Best Fantasy and Best Romance, and a 2024 Goodreads Choice Award nominee. When not writing, congratulations. When not writing, she's enjoying playing chess in the park, keeping bees. Oh, you keep bees? I didn't even read that part before. Oh my God. And doing anything that an 87-year-old trapped in a Gen Z body would enjoy.
Funny.
Welcome, Sydney. Oh my God.
Thank you so much for having me.
So wait, do you really keep bees?
Yeah, that's why I wrote this.
Oh,
well,
wow.
Let's start right there. What was your inspiration?
Yeah, so I used to work for Savannah Bee Company. Shout out Savannah Bee, SBC. And while I was there, I got to learn directly from the founder, Ted Dennard. He took me under his wing and taught me everything that he knows about keeping bees and harvesting honey. And I just became enamored, infatuated, absolutely obsessed with all things bees. And one day at work, we were harvesting honey from our hives in our bee garden, and we were bottling it. And I had a tiny jar and I held it up to the sun, and I saw like the sunlight spear through. And I just thought, this is truly the closest thing we have to a magic potion in real life. And someone should write a book about that. And I decided it would be me.
And you did.
Yes. And I have to tell you, I think it comes full circle just right now. I realize now why I'm so infatuated with your book, and it makes so much sense. So I'm a fan of Honeybee and of the Honeybee Company. What's the Honeybee Company?
Savannah
Bee Company. I used to go there all the time because I lived in Gatlinburg, and there was one right when you came down to the main strip.
Yes.
So I loved it because I love bees in general and what they stand for. And I mean, there's just so much behind.
So Mercy and I used to have a charity for 15 years, and it was our mascot.
It was our mascot. So I had a preschool for 26 years, and that preschool, when we started our foundation, we made the entire school like a beehive. So we had our babies were honeybees. Then we had our bumblebees. Then we had our, it was the honeybees, the bumblebees, and what was it? Help me out here, Priya. It was three of them: the honeybee, the bumblebee, and the busy bees. The busy bees were the toddlers. And then
never mind the queen bees, because we had a lot of women helping us out and volunteering for the organization.
Right. And then all our teachers were the beekeepers.
Yeah.
This is the cutest thing I think I've ever heard in my life.
It was adorable. And we painted all the walls like in a really light mint green. And then we had bees painted everywhere. They were just kind of all over the place. And the whole concept of the school when we did this was to make it all eco-friendly so that we could teach the kids as a community how we can make a difference and instill that in them. Priya and I went on to write a curriculum that we shared at a global level, teaching children around the world about environmental awareness. So I think all of that and the fact that we're both honey itself, we love honey for everything. It's such a healthy choice. And then we saw the book and we fell in love with the book and the cover and gravitated towards it. And it just all made sense to me now that you're talking about bees.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Yeah, I also worked through Savannah Bee. We partnered with a nonprofit called the Bee Cause, where we installed observational beehives in schools and libraries. So that was a big part of it as well. These are like glass hives where children can see the entire process unfolding, little baby bees being born and how they harvest and how all of that.
Crazy how much we can learn from them, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about you. Who is Sydney?
About me? I'm an author who lives in Savannah, Georgia. I'm a dog mom. I'm a reader and beekeeper first. And let's see, what else about me? I just turned 27 a couple days ago.
You're a baby.
Happy birthday! Oh my God!
Thank you. And I'm currently working on edits for my second book.
Wait, is it going to be a second book to this book, or it's going to be?
No, it's another standalone.
Oh, okay.
Wonderful.
Okay.
So let's talk about Honey Witch for a second. How long did it take you from the minute that you thought up the idea, that you pulled up that little jar and saw everything through it and got inspired, to the moment that you were ready to share it with the world? How long was that process for you?
From starting to write it to publication day, it was almost 2 years exactly.
Wow.
Like maybe 2 years and 2 weeks.
Oh, wow. Okay. And what was the most memorable part of writing the book? Or your favorite part?
I say a lot of times that the actual drafting process is just like a black hole in my memory. Because I was going through a really tough time when I wrote it. Like the book is largely about grief, and I wrote it shortly after I lost my grandmother, and I was just absolutely spiraling, completely shut off from the world, and it was just like me and the book trying to like hold it together and cope with everything. So like when I often struggle to answer questions about like what was it like in the day-to-day of drafting this book. The answer is it was horrible. This book was the best thing that could have happened to me at that time, but like anytime that I was away from my little writing software, I was like just sad, and that was pretty much it.
So it was like therapy. It was like therapy for you.
Absolutely. It was very therapeutic.
Althea was an amazing character to read and hear. So I did both the audio and the hard copies. I was doing simultaneously.
The audiobook is so good.
It's like, I know it's my good.
It's weird for me to be like,
I love the audio.
But like the narrator, Mia Hutchinson Shaw, like I bow to this woman. Like that. Her audition just like stood out so, like it was so clear to me the second I heard her voice that like this was the one, no question. I don't need to hear anything else. Like so solid. That was a very memorable moment in the whole process. Like hearing it read to me for the first time with like voices and inflections, and like knowing the moment I heard someone read it in the rhythm that I wrote it. That was super memorable for me, and just the coolest thing. One of the best parts of the process.
Oh, I love to hear that. Oh,
that's beautiful.
So going back to the question, Althea, was she based on your grandmother?
Very much so, yes.
Okay. Wow.
Would that make you Marigold?
I don't don't think so. I think I pull on experiences, but I'm not so much of like a self-insert writer, which is funny. She keeps bees and she's blonde and she is super close with her grandmother. Like there are a lot of similarities there. But and I often say that like when she's offered the deal in the beginning, you can have all this power, but it comes with the curse that you'll never find true love. I often say I was inspired to do that because I would have taken the deal. At one point,
that over being betrothed to some guy.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, like, I don't feel that way now. I feel much more in line with how Marigold feels at the end of the book. But like, there was definitely a point in time where I would have bounced for that. But Althea is very much inspired by my grandmother and like a lot of the lessons that she teaches Marigold along the way about just like lowering your guard a little bit, having a little bit more faith in people, putting a lot of trust in particularly the women around you.
Yeah.
That is very much like what my grandmother embodied and what I took from our relationship.
Yeah, because there was even that one scene where Mari was very judgy over a client coming in and the way she sounded and where she came off. And Althea was like, no, you have no idea what this woman's been through, how strong she is. I just love that whole scene. And, you know, there were so many, just like that, there were so many tidbits in the book. There were lessons. There was lessons sprinkled all over it, you know, from love to friendship, even the father-daughter relationship that she had with Benny, Mr. Benny.
Right. Who covered up for her.
Yes.
I love it. What inspired you to find the name? I mean, clearly gold would represent the honey part of it, right? But to come up with the name Marigold?
For me, character names just sort of like slide like I get the idea and it just like it comes in immediately. A big part of it though was there was a point in my grandmother's life where we were always extremely close, and that this was years before she passed away. She wasn't sick, we weren't expecting anything, but we were just talking like, what's it going to be like one day when you're dead? What's it going to be like? Because I think when you have like a super close relationship with someone where you know that that is the way your relationship is going to end, that's a conversation that you have.
That's rough.
And like it was like lighthearted and kind of jokey. Like I think we were both morbid bitches, me and my grandma. So like that was something something that we talked about. And she told me then to like look for yellow flowers, and she told me that if I saw yellow flowers it meant that she was around, and so Marigold just fit perfectly for that.
Aww.
That does sound beautiful.
So beautiful, so beautiful. And okay, so you told us a little bit about the process, and it took 2 years. Is there anything about that process that stuck out to you that you would love to share with other authors possibly listening to us right now?
Yep. Or an aspiring writer.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like trying to pick one thing to say about it all.
Right. I'm sure you hit a couple of walls, I'm sure, through the whole process. So what was the one thing that really stood out that you can share with somebody that's writing a book that you would tell them, hey, whatever you do, don't do this or do this?
Yeah. And it could be anything. It could be anything.
I think this book, I went through everything with this book. This book was my first everything. This was the book that I queried with. This is the book that I signed with my agent with. This is the first book I took on submission, my first book that came out. So if you're in that situation where like this is your first one and you truly like this, you're going in kind of blind to all of this and you're looking for agents, I think something that I would recommend is to make sure you connect with someone who sees the same end vision for this book that you do, especially editorially speaking. Like when I was querying and I was talking to different agents about who I was going to sign with, people had always told me like, oh, you'll know when you know. It's like when you know you're going to get married, like you just feel it immediately. And I was terrified by this answer of like how to pick the right agent, just like, oh, you just feel it. I'm like, that's not helpful. What if I don't? I don't know.
Right.
So I was like, actually, like, how do you vet people when you have no idea what makes a good agent or what makes a good business partner because you've never done it before? And like, I was 24, I had no clue. But what made me know that my agent was the right pick and that she would champion the story the way that I wanted it to, was she came to our very first call with a strong editorial vision that completely matched what I was trying to say, like the themes I was trying to get across. She just had ideas that were so brilliant and sharp. And there were things that in the moment, I was like, if I don't sign with you, like, I'm going to feel bad because I'm going to use that. Like, I'm going to do what you said because it was a really good idea. So I think when you find somebody you feel that way about, where like you feel like you need to keep them around because you're going to be using their suggestions, like you need to jump on that opportunity.
Oh, I love that advice.
Yeah. And it shows in the writing. I mean, other than the audio sounding amazing, it was so beautifully written. And I didn't tab it up, but I like marked it up inside.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it flowed. It flowed beautifully. And, you know, I have the actual book, obviously, but I listened to it and I enjoyed it so much. And I think we started listening to it at about the same time because we know it's also our book of the month with our book club. And now when we, in our last book club meeting, both Priya and I had just started listening to it. All we could say about the book is you have to read it because it's so sweet. It's just sweet. And they're like, okay, but what's it about? It's just so sweet. So like there's just think of the honey dripping. It's just a beautifully written book.
It was like it was like a poem. It was so heartfelt. Like I said, it was like a warm hug reading it.
You guys are gassing me up too much.
No, girl.
No.
This is real. Like
this is real.
This is definitely one of my top books for 2025. Like it was beautiful. And it's fantasy and it's fiction and there's the drama in there and there's the love. But really it's all
done in a sweet, beautiful way.
Sweet, beautiful way. And the fantasy wasn't overpowering. Really, it was about the love. The love for yourself, the love that she had with her grandma, with Mr. Benny, with Lottie, even the friendship she had with Augie, like, and her siblings. Like, there was so much love to go around, and it was sweet, like honey.
This is gonna be crying. This is so sweet.
You summed it up, and you know, we spoke a lot also about the cover because we felt the cover was just beautiful. How you have that keyhole, and then behind it is a whole other world. The plants are different, the flowers are different. There's even light, like little light up here. So just everything about the book.
And when I was doing my
beautifully.
My post for Instagram, I was with my husband. I brought the book with me in the car. I'm like, we need to look for a field. I need to take a field.
Yes.
I need to stand in front of a field and take a picture.
I loved the photos. You look so good. Like it was a perfect setting for it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. What inspired the cover? Was it something in real life? Something that you saw?
Cover, I'm gonna be so real. I had nothing to do with it.
Oh,
okay. Like I had
well, you had to approve it, right? Did you not approve it?
I mean, I did have to approve it, but like I had literally no say.
Oh,
like you had no. Okay. Oh, did you have a vision in mind for it?
I had nothing to do with it.
Wow.
Like the publisher sent it to me, and I said thank you. Like we went through like.
Was that a good trust? That is trust. I'm saying for them to bring.
I mean, like I love it. Like I stare at it all the time. I think it's absolutely
gorgeous. It's a good thing.
I think, like, yeah. I mean, like I think that's the case in a lot of trad spaces. Not all of them. And like they sent it to me, and I made like some tiny changes. Like there was like a stripe of honey like dripping down that we ended up removing, but oh yeah, and I asked for more bees. I wanted bees like on the letters.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, like it honestly, I was surprised at how it happened. Like we hadn't had any conversations about what the cover would be really. Like we hadn't had a meeting about it. It just I was on a call with my editor and she was like, "Oh, and I think your cover's done. Do you want to see it?" And I was like, "Yeah." Yeah, I want to see it. It was literally like this, like a Zoom call, and she dropped it in the chat. And I like almost fell to the floor sobbing and crying because I was like, this is literally this is my dream. Are you joking? Is this real? Am I even awake? Like how? And honestly, I'm glad they didn't ask me anything because I never would have had this idea. like don't bring me into that meeting. I will poison it. Just make it cool.
Let the people that know what they're doing do what they do.
Yeah, because this is what happens. Like, and it absolutely slays. And the same cover designer, Lisa Marie Pompilio, like, God bless this woman. They also did the design for my next book, which I'm also obsessed with. Like, I'm absolutely obsessed with it. So
talk to us about it. Tell us a little bit about your new book. What's the name of it? When is it coming out?
Can you share any of that?
When can we pre-order it?
Yeah, it's still a little down the line. We just did the title reveal. It's called An Arcane Study of Stars. It is a dark academia romantasy about a witch who gets rejected from the university of her dreams. So she strikes a deal with the devil in her nightmares to force her way inside. And it's coming out next year. And I'm very, very excited about it.
Oh my God, what a change from light to dark.
I know. I know. Like, I'm still so surprised that like I was allowed to do this, because when I was coming into publishing, everybody told me, even some agents that had offered to rep me when we got on our initial call had told me, like, you're basically going to have to write the same book in a different font maybe 2 or 3 times before you can go crazy and write whatever you want. And I was like, I hate that. And I want to do whatever I want immediately. And so that
for you.
That could not have been further from the truth. In my actual, like, with my agent and with my team at Orbit, they are very pro creativity, and they want you to do what speaks to you, and they want you to write what feels natural in this place and time. And so
as it should be. Good.
Yeah. So I feel really, really lucky to be with a team that like let me do that, because
there definitely was for you that way too.
Yeah, there definitely was a path that I could have gone where I wouldn't have had that freedom. Yeah. And that's another thing. Can we go back to what we were talking about earlier about like advice? Advice to people who are like getting into this. Like, if somebody tells you that like you're not in a place to be creative and write what you want to write in that moment, they are not the right partner for you. In this industry, you can create what you want actually, and find people who will back that and support you and hype you up and like encourage you to follow where your inspiration leads. That absolutely exists. That is what everybody deserves. Do not say yes to people who don't want to give you that.
Can you imagine just like signing on with a publisher and they're like, and you have all these ideas and like drafts, in the woodworks.
And then you're committed.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you got to do 2 of those books, 2 of the 3 of the same books. And my God.
Oh gosh.
I wanted to get freaky, and I'm very happy to be with a team that lets me get freaky.
Yeah. Good for you. Hell yeah. Yeah. And that's what the world wants to read, is different stuff and new stuff and new life, new energy.
Yes, exactly. And even like this being like a sapphic romantasy, like
your nails go so well with it, I have to say. Your nails go perfect with the cover. If you cannot,
my blue nails for everybody
if you're listening. Priya's nails have the same aqua color that just goes perfect with the book. I love it.
Yeah, so the sapphic romantasy was just so beautifully written, and the build up and the tension, and you just like wanted them to hook up so badly. You know what I mean? And it was like torture. And then there was this one scene where stuff happened, and then more stuff happened. It's like, I don't know. I'll tell you offline because I don't want to reveal it.
I know the one you're talking about already.
It was later on.
No spoilers. No spoilers. We have such a hard time with this part.
But I was just like,
like, I know we can say we're talking about the tattoo scene. I get messages about the tattoo scene every single day of my life. And I agree with all of them.
Yes. What inspired the romance? Tell us more about that.
So I think a lot of Marigold's journey is coming to terms with like loving herself, and a big step in that is undoing internal biases and facing her own internalized misogyny. And so meeting Lottie, who is this like grouchy, self-assured woman who has already accepted that like you don't have to be nice to people who don't deserve it. You don't have
Lottie
to.
Was like,
yeah, like you don't have to shrink yourself to fit into someone else's idea of what you should be. And I think another big part of Lottie, in contrast to Marigold, is Lottie has like fiercely held on to her bodily autonomy for basically her entire life. And part of that goes hand in hand with her being a tattoo artist. She has always felt a strong sense of ownership and autonomy over herself, whereas Marigold has never felt that. She's always felt a little bit like a doll, meant to wear these things and show up to these places and behave a certain way. And so at first, Lottie is terrifying to her and almost offensive by how self-assured she is and empowered to be herself, even if herself is not that nice. Like I think Marigold almost takes offense to that in the beginning because it's just such a luxury to be mean and not care.
That free, right?
Yeah.
Right. And she comes from such a sheltered world because her mom sheltered her and kept her away from everything. Yes. Even when she was having her visions and, dad was covering for her, she was sheltered.
Exactly. So. Exactly. And that was another fun dynamic to play with. It's like you being able to understand why her mom is the way that she is and letting them grow past that in a way that wouldn't have been possible without the grief that happened in between them seeing each other. Right. But yeah, with Lottie in particular, I felt like I really wanted Lottie to at first wake her up to the woman that she could be and then become the woman that she loves.
Aww.
Right. And that she was meant to be.
Yeah.
All along. I love that.
And I love how you tied I think it's the dedication to the last line, by the way. Am I allowed to say the last line? Can I say the last line?
Absolutely.
Okay, let me flip to the dedication first.
Don't kill her. Don't spoil anything.
I'm not trying to spoil anything.
It's okay. It won't spoil.
Okay, the dedication is for my grandma, Kathy, and for all the impossible girls. And then the last line. Where are you? Okay. The last line. Mari says, I love you too. I will always love you, my impossible girl. How beautiful is that? That you connected the two.
That's just what they are, and I think that's like what we all are. Like, I think every girl has been made to feel like they're being impossible when they're actually just being a person.
Right.
And so I think that is like a big theme in this book. It's like what I want people to take away from it, that's the message that I want you to be left with is like, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world to be thought of as impossible because at least you're going after something that you want.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Oh, I love that. And let's go back one more time for, so our listeners are always readers, writers, and different authors. So the readers, if a reader is a reader, they've read this book because this book is like everywhere. So I'm sure they've read it, they've enjoyed it, it's been great. The writers, when you go back to talking about the agent that has really been life-changing for you because it's, they've given you the freedom and everything else. How was the query process for you?
Honestly, quarry is a great word for it too. That's how it was my querying journey. I like to acknowledge that it was fast. It was not at all what people told me it would be like. So I guess before I start the story, one, don't believe everything you say on the internet. Don't believe what everybody says, but also know that querying varies wildly. There's so many circumstances that change everything. So that's the disclaimer I give before I tell people about my querying journey. I got an offer of representation within 24 hours of sending the query from an agent. It was very
snap,
very
Sydney.
Fast.
That's amazing.
And then I had to send out my nudges, which is you don't know this, when you're querying and you get an offer of representation, you have to send a nudge to all of the people that you queried to let them know that you have an offer on the table. And if they want to make an offer, there's now a timeline. The industry standard is you give them 2 weeks to finish reading the manuscript, decide if they want to give you an offer. And then you have a series of calls with all the people who want to rep you. And then you pick the one that is the best fit. Yeah. So I ended up having a couple to choose from. And I've mentioned this before, like with my agent, I knew because she came to the call not only with like excitement and energy and enthusiasm and a great vision for me and my career, but specifically a phenomenal editorial vision for this book. Like she made me understand my own book better than I thought I did. Like it was just absolutely incredible. I absolutely knew. And there were 2 others that after I got off the call with them, before I got on the call with my now agent, I was like, oh, they were so lovely. I don't know how I'm going to pick. Like they were so wonderful. There was one that I knew maybe 5 minutes into the call, this was not going to work. This was not going to be it. But my agent definitely came in and just, it was instant.
How many connection. Did you send out?
I think I sent maybe 18 in total.
Okay, that's not bad. That's actually not a lot compared to a lot. Some people are like, oh, I sent 100. I know for my book, it was like 63 people. Yeah. Mine took a long time. It's not even published yet, but it took a long time before I got like manuscript request.
Yeah. Like, and I know like that happens. That's what I was expecting from this one. And to this day, I'm like, I never want to be like, yeah, it was just because it was so awesome and everybody loved it and everybody wanted it. It was just like really easy. Like I never wanted to come off that way. Like I'm still like, that's how it happened. Sometimes I feel bad that it went as fast as it did.
That's how it was meant to be. That's how it was meant to be. So that's wonderful.
That was your grandmother. She was working that magic for you.
That. Like sometimes, like in my late night sad girl hours. Sometimes I think that
Kathy was out there like
power.
That's
very, if you knew her, she would think that what you just did was the funniest thing she'd ever saw. And she would be like, yes.
I love
I'm
that.
so happy for you. This is so beautiful. All of it, everything from your inspiration to what you were able to put on paper, the story, the way that it flowed, everything about it was absolutely beautiful. And I cannot thank you enough, or we can't thank you enough for sharing the story with the world, and for sharing your time with us and telling us more about the process. If our listeners want to learn more about you, more about your new book, and more about this book, where can they find you and where can they order your book if they haven't picked it up already?
You can find me across all socials at Sydney J. Shields. I'm on Instagram and TikTok. I technically have a Threads. Is it a Threads? I don't know.
I don't know.
We have Threads too, but we don't even use it.
But it's on there. If you want to see where I don't post, I am on there. But mostly Instagram and TikTok at Sydney J. Shields. You can look at my website, Sydney J. Shields. It's disgusting. I need somebody to redo it, but you can look at it if you want to.
Okay, and you have it. It's great.
And then if you want to buy the book, you can buy it anywhere books are sold. Your local indie bookstore is the best place to be. Wherever that is for you. Oh, and if you want a signed copy, you can order from my local indie bookstore. There's a link in my bio that says get a signed copy. My local indie bookstore is awesome. I love it there.
I love that.
Well, when do you do in-person events? Do you have events coming up? Are you coming to New York anytime?
I do have an event coming up. I'm going to the Greater Pittsburgh Book Festival May 31st. I have a panel at 10 a.m. with some other cozy authors. And then I'm also going to, I forgot the name of it. It's a really cool, really fun Pride event in Louisville, Kentucky at the end of June.
Ooh, okay.
I think it's at a novel romance bookstore. My publicist tells me everything and I say, okay, thank you. So
just let me know when to show up.
Yeah.
So there is a fun, like spicy bookstore in New York City called the Ripped Bodice. It's uptown. You need to tell your publisher or your agent to get you there to do an in-person.
Yeah,
I would. It's hot right now.
I would love to. My publisher, love them. They don't really do events as much as other publishers. Like, they're not sending me really anywhere. Pretty much everywhere I go, I send myself.
Well, the book is everywhere.
Good thing is, yeah, the good thing, the book, it sells itself. So that's wonderful.
Yes.
Because I'm not going to be there. I'll be in my house.
I know.
Oh,
Writing
bees.
the next one.
You're keeping bees.
Yeah.
I love that.
And writing a news story.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right, Miss Sydney.
Thank you so much for being our guest today. This was an honor to have you on as our book club pick for the month. And you guys, if you're listening, if you're watching, make sure you check out Sydney Shields, check out her website, her social media, purchase her book, support her work. She's also doing important environmental work. So support a girl's dreams.
Absolutely.
Keep the bees.
I love this energy.
Yes. And catch her while she's just starting. That way, when she's like on her 5th or 7th book, you're already caught up.
And our next book coming
out.
out.
When I'm on the 5th or 7th, I'll be right back here. And we'll do this.
That's right. Well, you got to come back with the one you're writing now.
With a honey martini.
Oh my God, yes. Perfect.
Yes. Oh, a honey lavender martini. I've had those.
Yes.
They're yum.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Let's do a final cheers. Cheers.
Yes.
Cheers,
Sydney. Thank you, Sydney. Thank you for your time and for sharing everything with us.
Thank you so much for having me on. This was so lovely. I really appreciate it.
Yay.
Well, we hope to see you again with the next one so we can share with everybody.
Okay, good.
Thank you all for listening and watching. Make sure you follow along on Books and Martinis. We're available on every podcast platform, including YouTube. And subscribe to our YouTube because we're still trying to build it up.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening. Like, share, follow, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Absolutely. Bye, everybody. Bye, Sydney.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.